I think about that sometimes, like how there's no prisons in Israel and stuff. You know, God never, right. So, but like if we were as a nation, for example, in America, to say, all right, we're going to do things the way God prescribed it. We're not going to have prisons. That's from Catholicism and the Inquisition and stuff like that. That's when that was invented. This unbiblical thing of locking somebody in a room for years and years is torture. It's cruel.
Yeah, that's crazy.
Really, that comes from that.
Yeah.
Wow. To reform them.
The only reason whether it's Moses or what the Romans did, they just held you there till your trial. I mean, you were ready to go. They didn't just let you sit in prison.
Right.
And that would affect other people.
That wasn't your sentence.
Yeah.
It was never that was you're waiting to get sentenced. The sentence was never you're staying in prison longer. It's like you're going to get lashes, or you're going to get killed.
Punishment be done with you.
Or you're going to have to pay back fivefold what you stole, or whatever, right? But it was
And
never like the sentence was more time locked in a box.
That's
and
crazy.
that would affect
the
nation, right? That would,
sure.
Oh
Well, my thoughts are.
By the way, it's a drain on the system too. It's ridiculous.
It's ridiculous. It's completely, and it is. It's from Catholicism. You don't see that sentences. The sentences locked in a box until Catholicism did that with the Inquisition and stuff. Because they would lock people up and say, you know, you denounce whatever until, or we won't let you out of this box you're locked in. They're like, you know, it's torture. It's psychotic. It's what you know. They're POWs, the torture stuff, right? But
that's true.
Totally, it's evil. But my question is how would we? So say we were going to do that as a nation.
Okay.
We're going to say like this is not right. We're not going to do this anymore. We're going to look at God's will for how He would have a nation be run. How would you stop people from framing how would you have enough time to figure out whether this was true or not? Because like with technology and stuff, it's like you can, if you're like, oh, all right, well, if somebody gets busted for murder, they're just gonna have them for 7 days, and they're not gonna have them in jail for 50 years, and then decide to finally kill them. Wouldn't it be difficult because people would be trying to set people up for murder all the time that they didn't want around, because they want to rip them off or whatever.
And Ryan, as a righteous judge, righteous magistrate, I mean, if we did have to go to that system, it would have to have these checks and balances, and because of technology, because you can literally with technology you can make it look like somebody's doing something.
Right, but they're not really doing it.
It's easy to do if you know what you're doing.
Wouldn't there be an increase in people being wrongfully terminated or whatever?
Sure. Well, let me say, even under the law of Moses, there were cases where people were false witnesses, right?
Sure.
The Lord Jesus had it happen to him. People had it happen to them.
Which is why that was like a capital offense too, right?
Right.
Because basically you're a murderer at that point if you're doing
that.
Right?
But you're talking about the millennial kingdom that it would operate?
Well, no, he's saying, what if we decided, but what if America decided,
right now,
because of the drain on the system, the trillions of dollars are going to, with that even harder, people are making money on it. But let's just say, you know what, it's too much of a drain on the economy, we're going to just end the prison system. Right. We're going to have laws where if you steal, you got to get back 4 or 5-fold, what depending on if you come in. If you get caught 5-fold, if you come in, lashes, or get your hand cut, whatever the thing. Death for just to start with murder. But what happens is we have to have safeguards that. Well, here's what you have to do, right? If you get caught doctoring something to get somebody else, you die. That would have to. That's what I was
thinking.
Like you have to say.
That's what I was just saying. That's how it was in Moses' law.
Yeah, you got to.
Because you're basically a murderer at that point.
Right.
But there would be a transition, because I guess the motivation is because the punishment's so harsh that it would change the mindset of the people, right? To be like, well, I'm not going to do that because I don't want to have all these lashes on my back when I go swimming. Everybody's gonna be, look at that guy.
And that's what it was meant to be.
It was public
to affect everybody for the rest of your life. Because now you got the scars. They say, oh, look at that guy.
Right.
So you're better off not even doing it.
Right.
Remember when they offered the ants or whatever he would consume them? That was to affect everybody.
Right. And then you'd be like, well, I'm not going to risk that because they'll just kill you if you do that, and they kill you swift. There's no 50 years in prison sitting around waiting for death row. They do that 7 days later. I'm not even going to mess around with that. But it would take a while for people to figure that out, right? It takes so long that...
Well, think about why the millennial kingdom has to be 1,000 years.
Right.
It's going to take a while for people to realize we're dealing with a new sheriff in town over in Jerusalem there, man.
That's fascinating to think.
The Lord Jesus don't play. But it's going to take time for it to filter around the whole world. What took 2,000 years, let's say for this Grace company, what would took 2,000 years without him will take half that time with him here, his very presence. Yeah. But it's still got to take time to make its way out.
But yeah, this will only work in the kingdom, because imagine right now how people get framed.
Right, it would take
people, right now.
If you frame someone, the penalty has to be the ultimate penalty, death.
Yeah, but how do you prove? Maybe you get so crazy, like people would like frame people to make it look like they were framing people. You know, you get
I know, man.
It's off the hook.
Obviously, we talk about this all the time. Paul and them, and obviously 1,500 years before him, they didn't have to deal with certain things. We have the technology. But see, only the righteous, that's the thing. Only the righteous judge.
It's going to take Jesus to come back and do it.
Exactly. That's it.
We're too far gone at this point.
And sin is getting.
So Satan's done a good job with this whole prison system with his favorite vehicle Catholicism, right?
Catholic Church.
Yeah, the kind of forefront of Baal worship or mystery Babylon today, right?
Satan made it so that you can't dole out proper justice.
Yep.
Like you should.
Yeah, even worse than it was in Paul's day. And even in Paul's day, he called them the judges of that day unjust. Think how much worse they are now.
Yeah.